Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, on the show this evening is my mucker GB. Evening, GB.
Evening, Oxford.
Wow,
the
Gremlins hit is bad there, mate.
That's because I've came on, mate.
Oh, dear,
the Grim Reaper follows me, mate.
Well, I know the feeling, mate. He's right behind me. Sorry about that, everybody. We've been trying, but with some technical glitches are all sorted now. Evening, GB. How are you, mate?
Aye, all good here, mate. All good. Good to see movement in the transfer market again, mate. And aye, just again, a big. It sounds mental, but so early in the season, mate. But it's a big important game tomorrow night again as well, mate.
They're all important, mate. That's the thing. You know, that's how I think people. You know, there's a mixed bag for Friday night. You know, and I get it. It's not the end of the world, but it's just that every game's important, and you just feel that some people get it and some people don't, mate.
Seems that way, Ox. That's the thing. It's no coincidence that that record that we've had in the starting the league in the last couple of seasons since Gerrard has not been great, mate. And to be fair to Derek McInnes, I don't really think it was on him on Friday night at all, mate. To be honest, it's again
I didn't like his team, mate. I didn't like the first half set up, mate. You know, I'm not having a go at Derek. You know, everybody, it's hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I couldn't work it when the Dairy was trying to play, mate. I'd have picked the same back four. I'd have Devlin. I would have played Asgard. I would have Chimiti up top, and then Shanklin playing, trying to get involved with him. I don't know if I start in the Dairy. If I play in the Dairy, I play him in a two, mate. With Chimiti or Shanklin, nobody was playing out of possession, going to the right-hand side, mate. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah, it's square peg round hole into at the moment. I think with that, they're just trying to do something with him. I think, again, he knew that at half time, obviously, he changed it up and stuff like that. But overall, again, Oxford, I do feel though he's went into that kind of first game still with one hand tied behind his back. And that's what I'm kind of more miffed about. I'm not really miffed about the result because, like he says, anybody can draw a game in football. But I'm more miffed that we're
not ready. We're not ready.
We know that's the thing. Every season, Ox, we know what we need, and we seem to do it all with it.
But
and
if you were waiting one piece of the jigsaw, we're 2 centre half short. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Arguably one to start with, but two, if particularly if Suter goes, which looks as if he is away. We've no cover at left back. We've got a million midfielders, but no great activity. Yeah. Apart from Asgard, everything's on his shoulders. He's became an integral part for being everybody, well, most people, including myself, not being his biggest fan, but so far so good. Very little on the wings. Very, very little. 4 centre forwards, mate. So we need 2 lots of wide players, left back cover and 2 centre halves, mate. If it was only 1 or 2 you were chasing, you could understand it. But that's the reality, and we can all see it, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Aye, mate. And you know, it's a damning report on, like you've just said it, Ox, with the amount of people that we've got in that squad, and not even why they can help contribute, apart from, like you're saying, Asgard. Like, you've got all the folk in that building, all the wingers. I mean, we've got McCausland kicking about, we've got Curtis Kusama, we did have Bajami and all that, but they're away. But it's just, again, all these people are all kicking about the club. You say there were about 4 forwards. Again, I'm not saying that you can turn a striker into a winger, but again, you've got all these people there that kind of contribute, and it's draining us, mate. It's probably, and by the way, it's probably hindering us in the market, I know, because we've got so many bodies in, you know what I mean, and we're not getting bodies out.
We've done all right in the last 10 days or so. Barjami and Ant-Man going, I didn't see the Ant-Man one coming. You know, he never looked good enough for me. I know he was unlucky, but well, he's gone, so you move on. Barjami, we know he's got a bit of ability. It's never worked for him. He's did 2 years, mate. He's played it. He's hardly played, mate. Bits and pieces, you know, and you weigh it up. So he's looked as if he's moved on. They've got an option to buy. I believe it's an option they might have looked into it, which chances are he'll be back next summer, mate. The way our trading goes, mate,
yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Aye, they'll take him, but then they'll have a look and go, nah, it was all right. Thanks very much for that wee loan for the season.
Right. So, but obviously, but it's all about saving wages, freeing up wages at people that the manager doesn't fancy, and they're just hanging about the building. So there's another few you could maybe go. But look, we're just building up. We're going to get some interviews, but look, feel free to join us. 0141 356 1972. Come and join us right at the start. Can I just, before we carry on with the show, GB, once again gave a shout out to David Hurd, who came on the show last night and talked about his book, The Nearly Men. What a gentleman, what a nice guy, what a blue nose. Thanks very much for doing the show with us last night, David. We enjoyed it. By the way, that was David I was talking about, not myself, yeah?
Yeah, you played your part as well, mate. We can't not acknowledge that the Ox shared last night as well. Like I says, you've got to have somebody to bounce half of. So, it was good, mate. Really good. And hopefully, David, again in the future, will just come on just to chew the fat, mate. It's always good to get other insights, how players are feeling and stuff like that. And I thought he was quite honest when you asked him about how he felt things were and stuff like that around about the club. So it was good to hear that it's not sometimes just us with the kind of same ups and down feelings. It's good to see somebody else.
You know, GB, barring bits and pieces, you know, you like a player, I don't like a player, vice versa. There's always that. Pretty much everybody I speak to is unanimous in what we need, mate. It's no a surprise. And we were insulting the recruitment team and Derek McInnes if we don't think they don't know what we need. I think they do, mate, but it's just getting these deals over the line because a lot of them are just now starting to come back for holidays in some of the leagues. So councillors will maybe move on, and obviously we brought in a winger today who's on the right. We're crying out for somebody there, and we brought in the boy Yokota. So we'll see how that pans out, mate. Look, you know, I've followed his career since he left Japan closely. I've never heard of him up to the last week, GB, so I don't know how good he's going to be.
I was going to ask your opinion on it, mate. Right? And I know obviously we've got to go into the chat and we've got to give players chances, and maybe this will be a Jamestown moment for us, mate. You never know. But like, I don't know, we signed Nadiri for the third division of German football, and now we've signed a winger for the second division of German football. Like, you're wondering. I know that we're linked with now somebody for PSV and stuff like that. So that kind of is your like, all right, well, that's kind of a kind of top level club that we're kind of shopping in. But I do wonder. I hope that we get what happened across the city when they signed the kind of that contingent. I hope we get the player that can start remoting defences and stuff like that, mate. But I just don't know. Like, again, when you're starting to shop in second division markets, third division markets, you've got ex-players, ex-managers coming out saying that the recruitment's no good enough in their eyes so far. Then you just wonder. You wonder where we're going, Ox, because you're. I don't know. I'm not saying they're trying to do it cheap, but I don't think they grasp how much it's going to take to get a title, Ox. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take quality to get back on top, Ox, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it on the cheap.
Well, mate, to win this league, you have to be. You don't have the quality the teams have had in the past, mate. Mm-hmm. You know, we talked about the teams last night for 66 to 69. They'd walk this league, mate. They'd walk it, mate. And you know, and that's where we are. That's where Scottish football is. You know, and the problem you've got is we're bringing a boy in, say, £4 million with the wages accordingly to get him in the door. You know, to get to that next level of player, mate, there's 4, 10, 8, 12, 16 million. There's nothing between them. You then have to start going to 20, 25, 30 million just to try and get that next level. And Scottish football is not going to reach that again at this moment in time, GB. And that's the reality. And it's all where you're buying, who you're buying, length of the contract, their age, and where you're going to get them in the door. Because the guys in the Championship, I said something last week. I know you saw it. I seen that with my own eyes, mate. I seen it, and that was a Championship player, £47,000 a week, mate, basic.
Yeah, I think again I can accept it. I have kind of made this point before, Ox. Like, I understand that you can't just go and give somebody 50 grand a week. You know what I mean? And you've got to watch what you're doing and stuff like that. But I would much rather. There will be people on your club close to that in salaries, mate. But they'll have come in the door in 3 contracts, and you'll be paying that. You know, you'll be paying the transfer fee or whatever you want to call it, signing on fee or whatever you want to call it, mate. You'll be paying that like that, and they'll not be far away. Their whole package will not be far away for that. But there'll be no transfer. So we get a free transfer in the door, we poo-hoo it. But if you've got them and you've stole a march, you've got it in and they're happy to do a deal, it could be the equivalent of an £8 million signing, mate. It doesn't mean they're going to be any good, but that's the problem. Aye. And this is where I'm coming back. I came back to kind of last week's point, Ox. Like I says, I can totally get on board with things if they're sensible about it in their recruitment and that. And this is where they'll get heavily judged, Ox, right? Because for me, we have got dough, right? It's not as if we're skint or anything like that. And like you say, mate, we're probably paying decent wages for a football club now for what we are getting in return. And but I think we should have, and this is hopefully where McInnes will come his forte in a sense with knowing the league. But I really do think that we should have probably helped the spine of the team, like with defence, like filled in with decent pros, maybe for a league or whatever. And then
did you watch Dundee United in the weekend? Did you want to sign anybody for them? They'll be running about. They'll be mid-table. I'll approximately, maybe a wee bit lower. At the moment, my first impression is they'll not make the top 6, mate. Having watched them. There's no one player in that. Maybe their left back, who's their best player, mate. He's no signing for us.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, and that's for them to figure it out, Ox. I'm just saying, like, if there's options there, then the build a spine with the kind of the steady eddies, and then the quality.
Who's support when they put up with that, GB?
But they're not putting up with what's happening now, Ox.
You watch what happened to the Scottish players if they continue the form they've had at the start of the season, mate. Yeah, they'll be the button boys.
I'm not saying that. I think that let's say to sign Scottish, mate. I'm talking about let's say, like saying the Motherwolves, the Hearts, and stuff like that. The pros in there that can do a job. That's what I'm saying. Like fill in spaces, mate. That you can at least grind out a result. I mean, back to that kind of Walt Smith time where you go and pick up the best at the league and then spend the money or pay the big money for loans and stuff like that to get in the quality. And that's where I'm at. If I was being the kind of strategy side, that's where I would be looking. I'd be trying to, let us say, not so much worry too much about the defence, put in people that can help that area, but I would be spending my dough on trying to get goals into that team because it's been proven. It's you can blow away teams in this league by half time, and it's just about having the right players that can put the ball in the net and make chances. Whatever happens at defence, and Klopp was brilliant at it in a sense with Liverpool when it first came. It was like 4-3 results. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind a bit of that rather than see what we're seeing the other night there, where it's a stupid goal and then we are behind the 8 ball for the rest of the game. It's we really need goals in that team. And like I said, I think we've got the money there to do it, Ox. I just think we're chucking probably a lot of money down the drain a lot of the time.
Who would you know has signed this summer then?
Not so much for this summer, because to be honest, like say Shankland and Devlin and all that, the boy Neil, I think it's obviously his captaincy and stuff like that's probably the kind of polling he's been playing in Sunderland. But again, I think we've already got a boy like Dan Neil on the team. I mean, we've got plenty of them. I mean, Connor Barn could probably do what Dan Neil's doing. That's what I'm saying. I've not seen anything more on him. The goalkeeper's decent, obviously. He's been all right. So that side of the recruitment's been all right so far. It's merely the boys that I see that are still floating about for the previous windies.
I keep telling you, mate, getting people out the door to leave permanently is one of the hardest things, mate, because we'll be paying more bucks than they're getting.
I mean, there's big Tucci, Ox. We brought him in the January window, and it looks like he's no really on the radar at all. I mean, and he's
he never go on the park at all, and Friday at all, you know. But aye, well, listen, that happens in football, mate. A new manager comes in, doesn't fancy somebody that the old manager brought in. He'll not be the first guy to suffer with that. I mean, you never know, mate. Somebody like that maybe leave the club this window. You never know what could happen. It's weird football. You know, he might fancy a move if he's not getting a part. Or surprise, he might sit for 3 years.
Aye, no luck. Aye.
All right.
I just think it's disappointing, Ox. It's disappointing with the amount of people, like you say, we've got there. There's big, again, like I said, mentioned Tucci and stuff like that. For the stuff that we've seen previous in his club and stuff like that, he was a player that could grab the ball and drive forward. We always seem to, I don't know, for some reason they come to our club and we suck the life out of them.
Well, you might be right. I mean, he started off okay, I thought, without being outstanding, you know, and then he's formed up a bit. Played a lot of football. I thought maybe right, okay, give him a chance. Well, not really seen that much of him during the pre-season. Seen bits and pieces of him, but we never seen him at all on Friday night. But we'll see if he's involved. He'll want to join us. Let's hear from East.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. But it's difficult, mate. I mean, it's difficult because all these things come early in the season and they're big games. the big games, and momentum's a big game in football. And obviously, Europe's important, mate. Europe's important. Don't know if it's important about the football or coefficient, but it's important for revenue. And that's how we have to get into this Europa League. We blew getting into the other one. But look, the draw's been favourable, what I can see, mate. So we just have to take our opportunities and get there.
I mean, on paper, Oxford says it should be that we're able to compete at this level. You know what I mean? And we should be able to get to the group stages of this Europa League. But I mean, looking at the team we're playing tomorrow night, they've played 2 in the league and won 2 in the league. So, and for what I've seen in the kind of press clips, that they're desperate to get there because clearly they know as a club what that kind of money can do to them as well.
Hungry, mate. And they might be on big bonuses. Yeah, whereas your guys will be on some kind of bonus, but they'll be on massive wages. Well, maybe there's a problem, eh?
Maybe, because when you think about it, remember when Gerrard's first term and he got them back into Europe and stuff like that, there was a hunger there. A lot of them hadn't even experienced any European football, but there must have been, like I says, carrots dangled in the sense of goal bonuses, match wins, all the rest of it, and a bit of desire to play at the top level. And the boys went out there and performed. They probably punched well above their weight half the time in their runs each season. And then Seville totally over punched their weight. So it just shows you, like it says, if there's a hunger and a desire there, there's games there to be won. And this team, it's down to them. A lot of them walk about as if they're world-class players already, Ox. I really don't like Fernandes' body language at times. He seems to think he's a Premier League player, and he's nowhere near that yet. I just wish he would just knuckle down and actually show his quality.
I think he's been appalling the last 6 league games, mate. Fernandes, I'll be honest with you. I think he's been appalling.
I think it's went to his head a bit, Ox. I really do. I think he got a bit of a swagger about him. I noticed when he was getting all the kind of praise and stuff like that coming into the cold, and rightly so. He came out in 8 where he was steady enough, Ox, and he was contributing with his goals and stuff like that. If he set pieces, he was doing well. But I think when there was a bit of like murmurings about teams being linked to him and I think there was one time they were saying speculation of Arsenal wanting to look at him and all that.
You need to be careful when you read. I'm going to tell you, you and your little posse should get your own WhatsApp so the rest of you don't have to read it. Yeah, and just send all your crap to each other, yeah. Because you can believe it all you want, but I don't think anybody without being drug tested believed that, mate.
That's what I'm coming on to. I'm saying that. Christ, if I'm sitting thinking Fernandes is going to Arsenal for 50 million, you mean somebody's giving me a smoke, you mean?
The trouble is that people post that and think it's real, mate. Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's laughable when you see stuff like that, but when you're looking at, like, say, Fernandes, these guys, I know they've got a belief in a dream and a drive in them and stuff like that, but I honestly think
that, mate.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I think sometimes they get too ahead of themselves. I mean, again, they drill down to it, Ox. They've not won anything. This team last season won 0. You know what I mean? And again, I'd rather they'd done the talking on the pitch half the time, because they always come out and I seen the training video the day as well, and it's all laughs and smiles and all nice passing and these sprints and all the rest of it. I tell you, like, see what you seen against Dundee United, Ox. If that was like you says, the old school, Jock Wallace and Walter Smith and all the rest of it, they'd be putting them up the backside, because, like I says, that.
Did you know here's Shanklin, mate? Here's Shanklin last week, mate? 8 days have gone, mate.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm
not
going
to happen, mate.
No, I know that, but I think I says I'm hoping like the Shanklin and stuff like that kind of bring them back down to earth for a wee bit. I'm not saying shouting ball at them, but that says in training they look as if, like it says, that they're like world beaters, and then that says for some reason they go out in a real match and they just look shocking.
What did we have? We had Big Ben making his debut. Cammy Devlin making his debut, Shankland making his debut. So with 3 players, the goalkeeper making his debut, 4. So nearly half a team. And I've not played a lot of football together the rest. Romans is just in. Sterling's I've hardly played with maybe anybody because he's not been available a lot. Devlin, Asgard was in and out the team, if we're honest. And then Gassama and Nadiri, I don't think we've never seen him in that position. I hope we never see him again. Gaspar may not be brings. So nearly half a team. Right? So obviously we all do appreciate it takes time to gel, but Dundee United were, I think, maybe more than that, mate. And look, they weren't great. It wasn't as if, they were poor. I think they were poor, maybe even at times worse than us, but they could have won the game, mate. They had a sitter at the end and they could have won the game. And we huffed and puffed, and when we got the goal, I was pretty confident we'd go and win the game, and we stopped playing.
Yeah.
We stopped playing. Yeah.
Yep. And that's a frustration thing, Ox. I just it deflates me watching us get dragged into the levels of Dundee United's and Hearts and all the rest of it. Like, as much as it was hard times back when Smith and that came back, Ox, at least we were still at least a nose there in front of them all. I mean, it's now I just feel as though each season, like in the transfer windows we show up in and stuff like that, we seem to keep getting closer and closer to them rather than going the other way. You mean?
Aye, you don't know the players are getting on loan, who's getting them in on loan, different things. They're all getting young boys for some of the top teams in England, and they might get a gem within that, and we might bring a player for a few million quid, and the young boy might go buy him. It's all, but there's a lot of luck in the recruitment, mate, and and what people want to do with you, and obviously we can't attract the people we did at one time, because to do that, we're paying some of the top wages in Europe. It ain't going to happen in our league for a long, long time unless there's a change in football. So we have to get a new touch, a new dose of reality. But that doesn't mean we can't build a team and they work their socks off and give everything they've got. Because, look, let's be honest, and they keep their shape and they're professional. It's not a lot to ask for.
Oxford, it says steady eddies, and then you get your quality in the top end of the park, Ox. That's where you hurt teams. You don't hurt teams in defence, you hurt them in the attack, Ox. And that's all I'm asking for, out of the recruitment team, is just to get that bit of quality in it.
All right, what we'll do is we'll move away from Friday. We need to park it. We've got a big game tomorrow night, mate. Big game tomorrow night. So what we're going to hear from the manager and Cammy in the press conference. So if you don't mind, GB, get yourself from mute. And then anybody wants to join us and see after they get a clue of what they think the team's going to be tomorrow night. Let's hear from the gaffer and Cammy.
Derek, I wonder if it would be okay just to ask you about Martin O'Neill, who's obviously in hospital. Celtic say, I would imagine you got to know him quite well last season with the title run-in, and I presume your thoughts are with him right now.
Yeah, obviously en route from the airport, was informed that Martin had obviously had a small procedure done. Obviously, don't know much more than that, but obviously it goes without saying that it's not the best of news, and hopefully Martin's okay for him and his family, and I'm sure he'll be back to work if he can as soon as possible.
Okay, Derek. On to other matters, and obviously another new man in the building today. What can you tell us about Daisuke Yokota? What will he bring to the squad?
Daisuke, we hope, will help fill a void in a key position that we currently really need at the club. We feel as if we would like to have a couple of wingers, but getting Daisuke in and ahead of this game was very important to us. Left-footed player, plays from the right, very industrious, very energetic, brings good quality from that side and brings us a bit of balance, which was a key thing. So delighted that we've managed to get that one done so quickly, and a lot of praise to the recruitment team in making sure we got that over the line.
Is he available for the game?
Yes, yeah.
On Macania, is he available as well for the match, and how big a blow was it with the Ben Godfrey injury?
Yeah, so obviously Macania is available as well. He flew out this morning on his own because he had to be in London to get rubber stamped the visa, but the club's done some brilliant work to make sure that process all went through quite smoothly. So great that he's available because it does ease the pressure a wee bit. We'd just be getting a defender available for us, and obviously Ben's injury was far from ideal for the boy, but hopefully 3 or 4 week injury. He'll be back in no time, but great to have Macania with us yet.
Derek, reports this evening that the club have had a bid submitted for Quaib Drake at PSV. Can you tell us about him? Is that the sort of level of signing that excites you, that could potentially take the club to the sort of level that you're looking for?
So we're currently looking at several wide players. So these talks and conversations are ongoing. So obviously don't really want to be too specific on any one player, but you know, a few reports recently have been accurate, and we're keen to just bring the best we can. You know, obviously the owner is Andrew has been really supportive. We want to try and be as ambitious as we can in certain areas of the pitch. We want to make sure we try and bring as good a quality as we can. So we just need to see how this all lands for us with several targets. Obviously we're not going to sign everyone we go for, but you know, if we do get a bid accepted for any of the ones that's been mentioned and a couple that haven't been mentioned, then I'll be obviously the first to know about that, and we'd be delighted to get these players in as soon as possible.
Obviously you've had some concerns over the sort of areas in the team that haven't maybe got the depth you'd be hoping for, but going into this game, how confident are you that you've got the bodies, the quality that you're going to need to get through this time? Yeah,
it's going to be a tough game, there's no two ways about it. Jagiellonian are a team who need respect. They just missed out on a Champions League spot. I think the Polish League now having 2 Champions League spots suggests the quality of the Polish League. It's getting stronger. And Jagiellonian obviously deserve our full attention. We will have to play well over 2 legs to qualify. So we want to try and put in a strong 90 minutes obviously tomorrow night and make sure that going back to Ibrox we've got a very good opportunity, but we're going to have to play well.
Derek, you would have no fears about putting Yokota and McCann in tomorrow night. It's obviously quite a hostile stadium, but I mean these guys are fit and they're ready to go if called upon.
Yeah, I think we need to weigh up everything with that. You know, nothing to do obviously with the atmosphere and stuff like that. That'll be great. You know, players respond to that anyway. It's just making sure we're fair to both lads. But they're here for a reason. They're here if called upon, and you know, we're just delighted that we managed to get them both in, because even up till this morning we still weren't sure if both were going to be able to travel and be part of the squad. So great to have them both available, and you know, they're not perfect in the sense that they don't know. Well, Maka's a bit different in that sense, but he's not been around the players, Daisuke, for so long. But good players can deal with that, and obviously both players will be eager to play their part.
What's the situation with Nico Raskin? Derek has obviously just returned to the squad. Is he available, and would you have any fears about putting him in, given the limited time he's had training with you and also working with you?
Yeah, Nico's here because we feel he could give us something as well. You know, I'd spoke to Nico when he was on holiday, getting a break from the World Cup. I'd spoke to him over the last couple of days. He's trained really well over the last 3 or 4 sessions. So no, he's available, of course he is. You know, there's obviously been a lot of chat about Nico potentially moving, but it's like everything, it's like until a bid's accepted that suits everybody, then he's fit and available for us. And if he plays anything like he's trained the last 3 or 4 days, he's definitely got something to offer us. Just delighted to get a chance to work with such a quality player.
Derek, in a perfect world, new signings would come in, they'd have a bit of a settling in period, give them time to adjust, but is that just not the case with the situation you're in at the moment? Is a bit of kind of sink or swim about it, you just need to throw them in?
Yeah, I think sometimes this can happen. You know, big games come upon you really quickly. You know, obviously we started for the real stuff last week, In an ideal world, you would get everything in, because managers naturally are very impatient, and I am as well. But you know, it's been a lot of good work being done. 9 signings, but there's some still specific areas we still want to address. But it's very collaborative. Everybody's working together hard to try and produce the best options, not just an option. And hopefully we get the benefit of being aggressive in the market, but also being patient with the right ones. And by doing so, we've got to make sure we're still winning games of football. So it's not ideal for like Daisuke coming in on the day of the game, day before the game. But sometimes that's just the way it is. Hopefully the squad will look a lot different by the end of the window, and I'm sure it will.
Hi Cammy, what's the first few weeks been like for you as a Rangers player? How does it compare to Hearts? Is it different? What's it been like so far?
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it. Obviously working with the manager before, it's obviously nice to come in with that being familiar, and Shanks as well. But yeah, coming into a new club, obviously I've been around Scotland a while now to kind of understand the nature of the club and the size of the club. But you don't realise how big that kind of is until you actually step in foot as a Rangers player. And yeah, like I said, I've absolutely loved it. Been a good first couple of weeks. Now that the real stuff started, I'm just really looking forward to getting stuck in.
What does playing in Europe mean to you? I mean, you've had a lot of games with Hearts, but I was just thinking, as a kid growing up in Australia, do you watch European games and think, one day I want to be part of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember waking up with my little brother and my dad and stuff, watching, European games of, the big teams around the world, and you never really think that's going to be you. And I've been fortunate enough to be, a part of Europe a few times now with Hearts, and now to come to Rangers is that more expectation, and to really go do well in these competitions. And that's something as a player that you just, you're in a privileged position to have that. And yeah, like I say, these are the nights you really look forward to. I didn't get it last year, so itching to be back. Just coming into a stadium like this is really, really cool. Really excited to get going, and I know I can speak on behalf of all the boys. Everyone's really raring to go, and these are the special nights that you can create some good memories.
See, with your style of play, just aggressive, quick tackles, you have to think twice about it in Europe, or the referee's different. Maybe you need to kind of change your game slightly for European games, or can you not think like that?
No, you can't really think like that. I think every player's obviously got their qualities and what they bring to the team, and the Gaff will pick a team that he and the coaching staff believe is the best team to kind of go out and win the game, and everyone, like I said, has got their bit to add to the team, whether that's starting, coming off the bench, whatever it is. And I'm no different. I don't think I can really change how I play in certain aspects. Like you said before, I've played a lot in Europe as well. I kind of understand the different sort of ways that things go and stuff like that, but at the same time I know what I bring, and every time I'm on the pitch that'll be no different. I'll be giving everything I can to help the team, and like I say, that'll be the same tomorrow night.
Okay, final question, Andy.
Cammy, can you just tell us about the memories you had of getting up in the early mornings? You're saying, is there a game specifically you remember, a big Champions League game, anything like that you can really remember as being the thing that got your interest in the sport going when you're a young boy?
I don't know if there's a game I remember in particular. I just remember me and my little brother, we would always try and get up for the big Champions League finals, semi-finals and stuff. With my dad, they're obviously, the games there throughout the night back home in Australia. So we would always try and get up. Well, when we were younger, it was only if we'd, behaved the night before that Dad would let us get up. But no, they're the nights that you want to be a part of when you're a kid watching on the TV, and now to be fortunate enough to be at a club like Rangers where you can really compete. I've obviously watched from afar and been so close to a massive success in Europa League a couple of years ago, and that's something you're watching, you want to be a part of, and this team's no different now, and we really want to do that.
Sorry, can I just have one more? Just Nico asking, you've come up against him so many times. If he does still have a part to play this season, I mean, what would it be for you? How exciting is it for you to prospect a line up alongside him this time? Yeah,
that would be great. Like the gaffer said, the few days that he's been in training's really, lifted the level, I believe, of everyone around him. Played against him so many times, had so many good battles, and now to be a teammate, with obviously a lot of talk around what's going on at the moment. He's my teammate, he plays for Rangers, and that's been really good. Just chatting away with him, being on the same side as him now is cool. And if we get the opportunity to play together, that would be great. He's, like the gaffer said, he's a great player. Watching him at the World Cup was so good because of how well he done for a massive country, and the opportunity to play next to him would be great, and something that I think we'd both really look forward to.
Well,
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks for that, GB. I've got a funny feeling Nico Raskin might be playing tomorrow night. What's your take on it?
I think so too. It spoke very well of him, isn't he? And he's right, Ox. At the end of the day, he's still a player. There might never be a club that matches it. The only thing is, if a club doesn't match it, then we're in Stoke come January. I mean, he'll be clubs offering him contracts and all that come January.
2 years, 2 years to go, mate.
2 years, so next summer then. So, but again, 2 years is a long time. I mean, he might actually have a fantastic season with us and then decide maybe the rest of his career's with us. But I don't know. I've always had the feeling after that World Cup he had and stuff like that, and prior to that he's kind of felt that it's been time to move on. But again, a club's got to match it first, and he's got to still stay professional at a club that's gotten to the level he's got at. So I would be, to be honest, the way our midfield looked the other night there, I'd be definitely putting him in. I think a Raskin, Devlin and an Asgard midfield would be pretty strong, to be fair.
Yeah, but if you play that, mate, you're playing a 4-2-3-1, mate. So where does my wood come from? Do you go with Gassimer and you're make sure I get this right? You're Toka, yeah?
Aye.
Yeah, so you're throwing him right in, and then you only play with one striker. But I don't think that's Shanklин's job. I don't think he can. I think he's a two-man. The off-screen, we know can't do it, and then you'll get Chermiti. Yeah.
Chermiti could. He could.
Maybe. To do that, that's what you're doing. You're playing a 4-2-3-1 with Devlin and Raskin if you do it, unless you go a 4-4-2, mate. And you've no width and no natural width in your team at all, and it's Diamond one side and Asgard another with the two up front, or there's one behind. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he did. Be interested to see what the listeners think as well, mate. But I think obviously the South African boy will be starting tomorrow night as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Aye, Maka.
Aye. Big Ben's out for 3 to 4 weeks, so we'll not see him for a wee while.
Aye, they're going to obviously have to open that market as well, aren't they? I mean, that can't be a thing this season as well. Him being up and down. But I know at least the boys got sorted out with his visa and stuff like that. And again, we've brought him in to do a job box, so may as well try it out. I mean, it's an important game. Let's see what he's like under pressure and stuff like that. A big game to get chucked into right enough when he's trying to build a partnership right away with somebody. But
when would you have a bounce game, mate? Even we're League Cup time, we're playing the holders. Yeah.
I know. I was wondering if he got if he got involved with that bounce game that they had. That they did. I was wondering if he maybe got around it then, but you would hope in training as well that he's had now. This is a couple of weeks to kind of bed himself in. But at the end of the day, Ox, he's a professional football player. You'll know by playing Ox that if you dropped you into any team, it's still picking the ball up and still driving forward, still trying to score a goal. You know what I mean? So
no, everybody's got the natural talent I've got, mate. You know what I mean? If only.
What would you be worth in the transfer market these days, Ox? 100 million.
They don't do less than 3 transfers, do they? I would have to pay money, mate. I would have to pay money.
But like I says, Ox, professional football player, time to let us roll his sleeves up and get in about it. And like I says, if I was in his shoes, I'd be looking at it, well, there's my opportunity to stake my claim in the team.
And grab a jersey.
Exactly, that's it, mate.
Aye.
That's it.
grab a
and
jersey, mate. You know. I do. I accept your point about Fernandes, mate. I mean, look, even in all the games he's been poor. He said moments of brilliance, but ultimately, I think he's failed to do his basic job right, and that's, I think he has to learn that if he's going to kick on. No, he ain't a kid, mate. You know, he's right in the middle of his career. This is, what is he, about 23? You know, he's not 17-year-old. You know, so he's got to move on. And if he wants to play and get a move and it's successful for both parties, I'm all right with that. I don't like the when people come in the door and they're talking about leaving. But if somebody's successful and they move on, that's the way of the world. And every club within reason is a selling club, bar maybe about half a dozen in the world. You know, and even them, there's players leave all the time. You know, so you have to deal with it and move on, and don't get attached. The days of people staying, but Tav are going to be even rarer and rarer, in my opinion. So you just have to, people move on. But to do that, you have to do your job. And that's what I think Craig Fernandes has let himself doing. So it's up to him to get a bit between his teeth. Use all the attributes he's got, that pace, that power, the skill he's got. And that concentration and work with his defensive teammates. Because trying to be a maverick, it's not working for the boy because he's getting caught out of position, banging the balls in the net. Happened on Friday night, mate. There was a lot of Ragnar goal, but he still got caught out of position.
Got caught out of position, and he didn't bust the gut ox to try and get back either.
No,
he kind of gave up on it a bit. I mean, so it wasn't a good look. And again, buying for the level we bought for him, Ox, that's what you've got to get. You've got to get these kind of dips in him, but you're hoping that we develop him. And again, it's down to the coaching team and everything to try and knock these things out of him and just say to him, we go back to the basics. Because to be fair to him, when he came out the call the first time round, that's what he was doing. He was doing the basics well. He was getting up for these set pieces. He was clearing these lines, and he was scoring goals for headers. I mean, so I would just say to him just to try. I think maybe he's trying to do too much now that maybe he's got a kind of mainstay in the team. He's maybe just trying to be the man. And sometimes, like I says, when you're trying too hard, that's when it's the same with me when I'm playing golf. And I'm trying to be Tiger Woods out there. It just all goes to pot, but then I just go out and forget about it. I end up playing a decent game of golf. So maybe that's what Fernandes needs to do. He just needs to kind of relax a bit and just try and not be the hero all the time.
I would say complete opposite of that. I think he has to get his head in the game and concentrate, mate. Yeah, I think he has to really concentrate. And he needs somebody next to him and talk and roar at him. Yeah, but if he's then not going to be disciplined to do what he's meant to do, he'll get fun out, mate. And then the players, you see it with other players, you know, because he doesn't keep his line. He does what he play, and he goes stealing the ball. It's all right doing that when it works, mate. If you go into the opposition's half, you don't get the ball, and the ball goes into the space where you should be, and ends up in the back of the net, it's your fault. So you've got to concentrate, and if you make the decision that you're going to be that maverick defender and aggressive and going forward with the guy, and the guy just lays it off and spins behind you, and he's through and goal, gets played in, and then you're nowhere to be seen, mate. People will soon find you out. So he's got decisions to make. Now, he has got the raw talent. We've seen that. And we want him to get back to doing the basics. I think he's got to concentrate more, mate. I think that's his problem.
It's that kind of, it's a balancing act, isn't it? Like he says, you're not wanting them to be OTT, but that's what's kind of more meaning with myself. Like I says, when you relax a bit and you just let the natural ability come to you, then it works out all right. You do play better. You know what I mean? And that's what I think with him. I think if he would just, like you say, focus and just do his job, then you will see a good performance.
Good word. Yeah.
What's that?
Good word.
What, relax?
Or focus.
Or focus. Aye. Mm-hmm. Aye. Right. The bad thing is now, obviously, there's nobody challenging him for his position either. You know what I mean?
No,
so
we're short
there. So he's definitely starting them more, isn't he? And so is Maka, Romans and
Sterling, but
Sterling. Aye.
And he's still saying that, even on Friday night, he said that Ross Smith
So fill are sitting listening on your own, why not take part and give us a phone? We would love to hear your points of view, so get off your bum and call 0141 356 1972.
Hey, GB, how you doing, mate? You all back?
Yeah, all back, mate. Aye, that was a good wee tunage for a couple of minutes
Yes, yes. Oh, what a night tonight, mate. What a night tonight. Right, so we're agreeing that we're going to go with it. South African boy will come in for Big Ben, and then we'll be the same back four with the goalkeeper, yes?
Yes.
Right, now this is where it starts getting interesting, isn't it? Right, I think, just going by that interview, nothing to base it on, I think Raskin's playing. There you go. Don't know what you think. You did say yes. Yeah?
I think so, Ox. Again, it's a big, important game. It's important that we get through to the next round. So you've got to have your best players available for that, mate. So, right, you'd be on paper, you'd be mental to leave out a Belgium internationalist. So you've got to put him in there. And Devlin's in the interview, isn't he? So he's a starter.
I don't know if that means in, but I think Devlin starts as well, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
So does Raskin then play a mere attacking role, Ox?
Oh, I think you'll play with two tomorrow night, mate, two defence. I think that's where you get down to. You play a 4-4-2 or you play a 4-2-3-1. You could play 4-4-1-1 with the guy. So that could be Chermiti with Shanklin. Shanklin comes deep and gets involved, but I don't know if we see the best out of Lawrence when you're expecting him to do that, you know. I think you want him to get his boys often in the centre forward position as you can as a goal scorer, but I don't think he can. He's not got that. He's not got the pace to get behind much, and he's not got the physical presence Big Chermiti's got. So that could be it. But then you've got that problem, mate. Who do you play left and right? Do you go with Asgard? You bring your Toka there, or do you bring Diamande there? And you've got four midfield players that are usually. Asgard's played wide left before, but we've never seen the best of him, and then he's not getting involved. So there's a lot of puzzles to solve, mate, yeah?
And to be fair, Ox, I don't know anything really that much about opposition, so I don't know how you're meant to set up against them. But for ourselves, the Asgard ones, like you say, is the left. The last time I seen Asgard play well on the left was that Dundee United game at home with Stevie Smith in charge when he ran down that left and put it
What a goal was scored.
You know what I mean? So he's got that in the locker, but I think then he gets lost in it, and then we've seen Diamande at times. He gets papped out in that right as well, doesn't he? In midfield. Again, I just don't think that's his position either. I've seen like in even the start of the season, Diamande seems to be this more forward. He's playing more forward this season, and I think Diamande's more a kind of a tidy up player. Ox. I don't really see him as an attacking player. The only time I've seen Diamande do that is when he scored for Clermont. I think it was against Dundee United up there for one of his first games. But I don't know if McInnes has seen that in him that he's able to run. Then
it wouldn't be my choice to play there.
Nah.
Mate, but
I would go.
Welcome to the O2 messaging service. The person you are calling is unable to take your call.
As much
Please
as
leave your
Kasama's
message after
been
the
a
tone.
nightmare, right?
To re-record your message,
At these
key
games,
hash
I
at any
think
time.
all our players that don't perform that well, I think most of them actually do all right in Europe. So, like say, Big Tucci and stuff like that, I think these games are actually built for them. They get more time in the ball. Kasama gets probably more space as well. You know what I mean? It's no that kind of what's his kind of physical game. I think this is this is when they.
So if you play Kasama, who do you play? That means you play left and right wingers, wouldn't it? More than likely.
Aye.
So who would you play on the right side then?
I wouldn't start the new boy, Yokota. Because you're trying to keep the game tight, and you want a solid midfield.
You know why I won the game, mate? You know why I win every game, mate?
I know, but have you seen when we like in that first half with Dundee United, that when we tried to play in there, attacking, that it kind of left us vulnerable at the back. So I don't know. I would probably say it'll be. Could probably go with you could go with Asgard as well. You could probably go with Gassama and Asgard.
Well,
Asgard, right?
I've never seen him
or
play
Gassama, right?
Yeah, I know, but let's be honest, mate. That's a failed experiment, isn't it? He should be able to play in the right, but he trips over his lip because it's petty, doesn't it? Yeah, and that's one of the things. He lets himself down as well, mate. We've watched him and we've seen it. He's got ability. You've seen that on Friday night, mate. When he went past two and left him for dead and then go to the edge of the box, mate. You're like, go on, son, just finish it half. Now, what a goal this will be.
Do you think the 4-4-2 is going to suit us better then?
I don't know, mate. I don't know if we'll go there. I think maybe in Scotland when we're playing and you've got one maybe sitting midfielder and you could have your three midfielders joining in with two attackers. You get five and getting involved, mate. But this will be different tomorrow night, and I obviously know I've never seen this team play, mate. Till we drew them, I'd never heard of them. If I'm honest, they're not one of the teams that strive out in Polish football, but Polish football's on the up, and it's a big country, and we'll have to beat our best, mate, because their coefficient as a country is going to be soon goodbye to us. They've got two in the Champions League, mate.
I heard that, Ox. What is going wrong with Scottish football when the Polish league's getting two in Champions League? What is happening?
You're also looking at me. Without checking that, roughly 5 million against 50 million, mate.
I know.
So there you are.
I
think Ross is with us. I think Ross has joined us. You there, Ross? No, I just summed up the night.
I think he's any calls maybe on mute.
No, he's not. I don't think he is. I'll try again. Are you there, Ross? No, he's not there.
It's obviously we're doing a kind of side note the new Ox with us, but see when I heard that, but I didn't. Again, where's that came from? Like they were getting two Champions League. We've been screaming for that for 3 years.
But the teams, well, we had two in it, mate. We've got one.
Time up in 10 seconds.
I know, but when they were saying that we've had two in it, though, it's always been like two qualifiers to get there. You know what I mean? With the other team, whereas that was sounding more like they're getting two automatic places into the Champions League. You know what I mean? Which is again, if clubs in Scotland can't wake up hearing that news, then they never will, Ox, because there's clearly something wrong going on.
There's self-interest, mate. I think Smurf's joined us. Evening, Smurf.
Evening all. Hope you're well.
Aye, how we doing, mate?
No bad. I just listening to the show there, and something I've thought about for a while, where we've got that lack of creativity. I mean, really, the way he wants to play with wingers, we don't really have the suitable wingers. See, until we get the right personnel in, do you think it's always 6 and 2 3s in it, but do you think it's a 4-2-3-1's the right way to go ahead until we get the right personnel in? And also, do you think that really sort of
who plays
Shankland's
who plays right, left and right?
Well, I was thinking a narrow sort of, maybe did under Gerrard, but the wingers weren't sort of hugging the touchline. They were playing narrow, weren't they? And I was thinking Gassama, and obviously maybe on the right, that new boy. I just don't see we'll get any real width for it. There's no hitting bylines. There's nobody taking people on. There's no I just struggle to see a formation with a squad we've got. Like, we don't think we've got the players to play the way Derek McInnes wants to play. He's got wingers there he can't trust.
Well, he's only got one winger at the club this now, isn't he? Kasama.
Aye, but I mean, what's he going to? You're going to get what one decent game in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it's. Or you might get a half, you know, and it's always the same, and it's butting in on his right and getting a shot away. And I just think we're quite a way off of where we need to be in terms of recruitment.
There's a couple of players. I think he admitted that when you listen to the interview, mate, when he said that there's a lot of irons in the fire. Let's say there's 6 irons in the fire trying to get 3 players, mate. That's a lot. Yeah, you're trying to bring 3 players in at one time. And I'm guessing here, I'm speculating, Smurf. But if that's the case, mate, that's telling you that we're short. Now, what we don't know and we'll never know is how close they were to so many other deals, and they failed, and they just never get them over the line for whatever reason. Yeah, and then you have to start again because you can't have 2 deals getting finalised if you only want one of the players, mate, for obvious reasons.
Of course.
Aye. So, but there's a bit of luck involved in players and agents playing you and people trying to get moves elsewhere. We know how the football world works, but I agree with you, mate. We're really short in the 2 positions. Dakota's come in and hopefully he starts helping solve part of the problem on one position. And then I'll go to GB after yourself, mate. I think the point you're making is you don't trust Gossamer, yeah?
Of course not. I mean, there's look, everything's evidence based, isn't it? And there's no evidence to trust him. You know, you get a fleeting, you get a good 20 minutes out of him, or a good half, noon again, and what that shows you what he's capable of in moments. But there's no consistency. I mean, absolutely not. And I also worry about the experience. There's a lack of experience through the team. There's a lack of pace. There's a lack of experience, and there's no width. So,
Did you play your quota? Yes or no answer to this. Would you play your quota tomorrow night, Smurf?
Aye.
GB, the same 2 questions to yourself, mate. Do you trust Gossamer, and would you play your quota? Do you have the time to think about
it? To be fair, I'd probably give Curtis a shot out in the left ox, to be fair, because he was always that kind of to and fro between him and Gassama.
Somebody's got the telly on. Somebody, Smurf, you've got some sounds on, mate. Carry on, GB.
I think let's see, the Gassama one and Curtis.
Smurf, can you turn there?
You've got nothing on, literally just you.
Is it? I think it's coming. We're getting some feedback for you. Carry on, GB.
Sorry.
Gassama and Curtis, we're always kind of vying for that position at first. So maybe it's Curtis out left, and then, well, why not? Go for it. Go for the quota. At the end of the day, he's signed to make an impact into our team. So, but the way it's been going, it looks as mere it's been like Diamandi's been hanging out that right side for us recently.
I don't see that being the answer to our prayers, mate.
It's no, but I think you might see your quota like a second half or something like that. I
get that, mate.
I think a Diamandi to start with, maybe it kind of ease them into the game, and then your quota comes on for pace and power in the second half. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does start, but I wouldn't be no surprised if he doesn't, because he's just so early in the door. I mean, he was training himself in that video. He was training a bit himself, and then he had a kind of bounce game. But don't get me wrong, see the bounce game clips. He put a cracking pass, and I don't know, I can't remember who it was for, but he squared it, and the boy put it in the back of the net, and I'm like, well, at least we've signed somebody that can find a pass. The boy didn't need to look twice to see him. So hopefully I can bring that to the team box. So I would End of the day, what have we got to Warsox? We're trying to get to the next round, so may as well go for it.
Aye. Well, obviously, we'll not be alone in European football when new players come in at this time stuff, so it's a pondering, but we've ended up, I don't know how we've ended up with this squad. You've got you've got 4 centre forwards, you've no 3, you're looking to bring a new one in. You've got 4 sitting, so we've got 4, right? No wide men and all these central midfielders. It's mental how we've ended up. So you can't blame the people just this now, because it's a different personnel that have stacked the shelves, mate.
Well, if you go back to Neil's Coppin, right, when he was at the club, and over a period of 2 years, 2.5 years, you've had however many managers, all bring and different people doing these jobs. So you end up with different approaches, and now we're in a situation where I'm not surprised we're in this situation we're in. I don't think it's healthy, but I'm not surprised, because with such a bloated squad and an unbalanced squad, that you've got to try and get people out the door. You've got to, how do you prioritise when you need players out of the pitch? You need virtually a full new team, and you can only do deals are shovel ready when they're ready. So you can't prioritise a winger over a centre half. Whatever's closest to getting done, that's the deal you've got to do. And we're in a situation where we need 2 centre halves and 2 wingers. And we've got a load of midfielders. Probably they're expecting to offload some. Maybe Gaffer doesn't fancy a few. You're expecting Raskin to go, etc., etc. But it needs rebalance, the whole squad, as well as getting business in. We really have to get a buzz on and try and move people out as well, which is the hardest thing to do. They're on so much money, they're never going to get that money anywhere else, and they'll just stink the place out. So it's difficult. And then the managers under fire, under pressure for the get-go, because it doesn't. You can rationalise it and see it for what it is all you want. Fans are impatient, and ultimately nobody's calling for his head. There's no hysteria here or anything like that. But regardless of the circumstances at the club, regardless of what he's inherited, and the imbalanced squad that he's got, ultimately, like all managers, they will ultimately pay with their job, so they'll need to get it right.
I get what you're saying, mate. I get what you're saying. It's results. Any team, any manager, it's results. The circumstances, whether it's your fault or no, but ultimately, it's a mental industry. We said it before. You walk into a room, there's 11 decorators hanging the paper upside down. You tell them that you're finished, you're gone. In football, you walk in, there's 11 players upside down. You walk in, it's you who loses your job, and you're right. It's mental, isn't it?
Of course it is. It's crazy, and it's down to contracts. And they're the assets, aren't they? The players are assets. They've got a value attached to them, and the manager doesn't really have a value attached to them. If you lose a dressing room, right and wrong's irrelevant, really, because it's who's it cheapest to replace as well.
Of course,
So it's difficult.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Your position, GB, this right wing, you've been banging on it. Hopefully, we'll put somebody in. Hopefully, we'll put somebody in who's going to grab it. We don't know if because let's be honest, we've seen the YouTube snippets in the last few days, but before that, we'd never heard him. Yeah. But hopefully, he's going to be an asset. He's the right age. He's not coming in as a kid. So we'll see where it takes us. And somebody can do that role that you've been on about Obviously, Cherny came in and he done well in it, but he was the loan, was the player. You like Candias. I thought Candias had a lot to play in the Steven Gerrard team at the start, mate. He was really consistent for us. I don't think he was there to get us to the next level, but I think your point is we've never really replaced that consistency. You might be right, mate.
No, mate. No, we've tried. I think we've tried everybody. We've tried Hadji and everything out there, and as much as they all done a job at certain times, there was, like you says, mate, there was just no consistency in that position ever. We've never. It's in our play, it always seems to be gone down the left as well. It's always down the left and a cross into the box. And if anything comes for the right, it's all at feet. It's no, I think it came for the right a lot of times. Tav, where he's crossing into the box and stuff like that. So yeah, it's that, especially with Lewis and Tav, it's a big important position now to fill. They've got to dribble, they've got to take on a man, and hopefully they can put a ball into a box as well. You mean, so there's a lot to do in that position, but it can't be just on him as well. So like I said, I think that it can't stop there. We're going to need somebody else pushing him in that position as well. So, but if he can, like I say, if he can just take on a man and create that I'll be quite happy with that. The new Hawks, to be honest, I'm expecting him to score goals. See if he can just create for Shankland and Chimete. They'll do the business for us. It's just we just need to get the ball of these guys, and they've proved that. You give them service, they can put the ball in the back of the net. They can do great things. Shankland can score great goals. Chimete can score wonder goals and all. But if these boys don't get service, Hawks, then we're a bush hush. You mean it's why they want. But I do have hope in the sense that we're looking at that area, and I'll be actually very keen tomorrow night to see how the boy performs. Like you say, the YouTube snippets look really good, but they always do, don't they? They never show the games where they're sitting on the bench for 3 games in a row and all that carry on. So,
I've seen some of your performances on some kind of tube that you always perform well, but it's not always the case in real life, is it?
1 in 10, mate. 1 in 10.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, Smurf, who we bring in. And when you're talking about players getting out, I don't think we're getting any defenders getting out the door. But when you look at it, Tochi wasn't involved, and Majowski, we've seen very little of him pre-season plus Friday night. You know, so there could be players, not just midfielders, leaving also. There could be players that you're not thinking about, because not everybody's happy to sit. There's a lot, yes, but there's not everybody's happy to sit, are they?
Well, Majowski said that, didn't he? More or less said that in pre-season. So, well, if you believe the papers, you know, it's not doing interpretation in it. But, so, ultimately, yeah, you don't know, there could be a surprise package or two, what people want to leave, and maybe people have got other offers. But the squad is imbalanced, and you know, I think it's very difficult to build a squad in Scotland. We were talking the other night about value for money. You're going to spend £4, £5, £6 million on a player, and a club like Motherwell goes and gets somebody for a couple of £100,000, and you know, if they overachieve and your guys underachieving, there's a Rizzler between them in terms of quality. So, but to build a squad quality, you've got to try and up the ante again with the money. So I wonder if you remember Walter Smith's approach. I forgot that boy's name now. Who was the boy we sold to Everton, the striker? Yelovich. And he didn't have a lot of money, and he just put all his eggs in one basket and bought Yelovich. And I just think if we should have, you know, some of our aim boys that maybe chap on the door, that could maybe bolster the squad a wee bit, but with the money we have got, just go up the ante a wee bit more and try and get there's no guarantee of success, but try and get a few difference makers in, you know, because I mean, I don't see the point of Conor Barron at a club. That's just a personal, you know, thing. I don't. I don't think there's enough football in him to make it at Rangers. I really don't.
When you look at his stats, I mean, Conor Barron had more man in the match awards for us than he's created chances or scored goals. Yeah. He's been man in the match in a few games and he's been industrious and he's worked hard. But I don't believe he's made a chance. Or if it is, it's very, very low numbers. He's not scored a goal playing in midfield.
So with all that endeavour and everything he's bringing, I recognise that there's no trophies at the end of the season.
No, but there's not even a chance at the end of the game.
No, I get that during the game. So I think somebody at that level, I can see as you're sort of trying to build a squad and you're trying to progress, but ultimately, he's no. I think people looked at the success maybe of Ryan Jack. You see him coming in for that other club, and then you think, well, maybe that's what we're getting again. Ryan Jack was a fantastic player. I think he's very underrated, and he's nowhere at the elite level of Ryan Jack. He'll run about a lot, and but he's no for me.
Listen, I don't mind. Listen, it's only my view on it, Smurf. I don't mind us taking a punt. And the problem is if we take so many punts and we buy players like Conor Barron, and I'll go back to Scott Wright. I didn't mind when we signed Scott Wright. Yeah, you have a go and it doesn't work out. That's football, and somebody doesn't kick on. GB, they're young, and you maybe seeing right, maybe he can do a job for us, and you bring him in, and they're no on massive wages because of how you've got them, etc. But if they're no ultimately they don't seem to be good enough, and you can't move them on, they just hang about. The best you can maybe do is get them out on loan. Well, I think Conor could be, if he plays to his maximum, a squad player. If you thought that we're going to build a team round about him, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. GB?
I agree. See, to be honest, if we didn't have Diamande and Tucci on the books, then Conor Barnes a perfect backup there now for what we've got with like that Dan Neil and Devlin and Raskin to a certain extent now. I mean, he's perfect. He's a perfect backup player. He's a workhorse. It's just like he says, he's not got any creativity. Then you've got Lyle Cameron there as well, and amongst that midfield as well. Not even getting a sniff. He looked as if he was getting a kind of look in at the pre-season when he was getting a lot of training time and stuff like that. But it seems to have went all quiet as well with him. So he's another one that's got a choice to make this season coming up, whether it's another loan. You've just got to wonder, like, with Diamante's performances at times, Tucci's performances at times, why are these boys no surpassing them? What are they no showing in the training that's no surpassing them?
I've got a different view, mate. I never think you pick a football team in training, mate. Yeah, and you pick it for about the day, and you maybe look at somebody. Yeah, you pick. It's your performances, what you do in the 90 minutes that get you in. And he's young boy. Cameron's got a great attitude, mate. He's a decent football player, but in my opinion, I don't understand why we signed him. And I'm contradicting myself with the Conor Barron and the Scott Wright one. Somebody would say, well, we took a punt. I get that. So we've done that. It's not worked out. And if you think we're going to have a midfielder, Raskin being a giant, Conor Barron and Lyle Cameron, we're going to compete Scotland, Europe, or anywhere, it ain't going to happen, mate. Because there's no Iniesta and Xavi, that's a problem, mate. None of them. And they're no, and you take Conor and Lyle, mate, they're quick, but they're no rapid, mate, and they don't cover the ground, Raskin's a wee bit a cut above, yeah, if you're honest, when he plays. But we had another point that's no worked out, so I think he'll go on loan. Personally, I think Lyle Cameron will go on loan. And Derek McInnes, when he come in the door, he has to give everybody a clean slate. Because sometimes within some of the other managers' rubbish, there ends up a gem for you, Smurf, yeah, sometimes.
Aye, it's as you say. Certain players will take a punt on. Look, we took a punt on Glenn Kamara, and I thought he was a fabulous football player. And you know, things soured at the end, obviously, but I thought he was a fabulous player, and for what we paid for him, I think it was at the time that it was reputed to be 50 grand, but then I think I read somewhere it was a wee bit more than that. But all in all, it was buttons, and the value for money, the return. We've had Novo go in for buttons, and look at the return that we got for the wee man. But the best player in the world, these two boys, I don't see, Cameron and Barron. I don't. It's nothing personal against them. I just don't see it. I don't see them as Rangers players going forward. They're if anything, you could argue that potentially be stopping younger players progressing into the first team squad.
I don't know. That's the trouble with Scottish football, mate. I don't think there is a pathway now. There's either they're either young or they're ready, and the only pathway seems to be for everybody to go out and loan, mate. And I don't think the 9 substitutes works nearer. 9 substitutes, and you might get 5 on if you accept 2 of them only got a couple of minutes at the end. Yeah, there's 6 people turning up every week and not getting a game as such. I don't think it's good for football players. I really don't. And I don't think it's been good for the game, mate, because I tell you now, if I was a manager, I'd think long and hard about leading somebody on for a second half if they've been booked. Yeah, so you place all the players that's been booked, and all of a sudden, the other bookings, and then somebody gets fouled twice, 2 bookings against them, and bad challenges maybe, and nothing happens. And the other team don't get punished accordingly. Yeah, but that's just me.
I think it depends.
I don't think.
I think it depends on the quality of your squad. The strength and depth of your squad. If it's of a consistent quality, then you're playing 3 games in 10 days, say, you want to keep players fresh, you want to keep players match fit, and you can rotate players. I mean, theoretically, if you've got 5 subs that you can make, you should be making 5 subs. But you're not going to make 5 subs if the guy you're bringing on is no up to par for the guy you're going to replace. If it's no a forced substitution, I mean, if it's no through a booking or an injury, if you're looking at matches that are upcoming or whatever, and that's the problem. You've got all these players at the club, but really, beyond your starting 11, is there any real strength and depth in terms of numbers?
No,
there's no strength and depth in terms of quality.
So you don't have competition for places. So what's your team tomorrow night, Smith? What's your team? Your team?
So, don't know if Sterling's fit. Is he fit?
Well, I don't know. It's been a long time since Friday.
Feels like it, doesn't it? Sterling. I'm going Sterling. Romans. Big Fernandes. That new boy from South Africa. I don't know if. And then midfield, if Raskin's there, 100%, I'm playing him for the beginning. And if he only lasts a half or an hour, so be it. I'm going to go Diomande. A lot of people will complain at that, but I think he's always showed up well in Europe for us. And Asgard, that new Japanese winger, again, I run out. Big Chernity and I know a lot of people will complain, but I'll play that Nadiri because I just think he's industrious. We'll be away from home. We might be up against it.
What's your shape now?
I think I would play Nadiri as a 10, but he'd probably drop.
Right, so what's your midfield then?
So
You've got Asgard, you said.
I've only picked 10 players there.
4-4-2. You Diamande, Raskin, Asgard, Dakota, Jermaine, and their Dairy. So it's a 4-4-2. Asgard on
Aye,
the left.
1-4-4-2. Asgard on the left and Diamandi on the right. Aye.
Interesting. Back to last season's team, GB, yeah, pretty much.
I know it's must picked up on it. That's what I'm saying. Diamandi's had a wee shot out there, and Asgard had that kind of what I say is a wonder couple of games spell that he was down the left as well for us. Asgard's got all the talent in the world, I think, to play anywhere. To be honest, Ox, it's just we need to play him in a place where he's got to be most effective, and I think we're still even at this point still to find that position for him. But if it needs to be on the left, if it was a choice between Gassama and Asgard out on the left, then I'd put Asgard out there. The only thing is you're not going to get the pace that Gassama can have at times. So you're playing a kind of sticky game then.
See if you play Asgard, see if you play him left or right, or you play him in midfield, mate. You're not going to get the thing that frustrates you when you want him to go with runners and all that, yeah. And you want him to show if we're going to try and get the best out of this boy, we've got to have him in a free role in front of the midfield, in my opinion. Yeah, and you've just got to let him play, and he'll still frustrate us because he'll still do things that's wrong, but he'll do things that's out of this world, like he done on Friday night. The goal he scored on Friday night was brilliant. You know, we've seen that before. A couple of free kicks. The goal you mentioned against Dundee United, which is, I don't think there's another player in the squad can do that. Yeah, but if he starts doing that more consistency, I think you've got to give him that free role. If you expect him to run up and down a wing, I don't think he's that type, GB.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And like you say, we've seen that the other night there. Friday night is what you're expecting from him. You know what I mean? That kind of world-class touch, that touch and turn bang goal. And like these teams like Dundee United are totally left stunning with that kind of class.
Well, that finish would have beat any goalkeeper, and his touch would have went away from most players, mate. Yeah.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That stuns. Maybe like in the Premier League, they're getting hurt with goals like that a lot of the time. But what I mean is, like, when you do that, when you hurt a team like that, with Dundee United, like you says at the start of the show, it kind of hurt them. They were in shock. Like, oh God, they've come back into this with a topper goal, and they were frightened, Docs, because somebody had woke up in their team. And that's all we had to do was do something like that again, a Chimiti or something like that, to come good with a good goal, and they would have collapsed. And this is what we need more for them. I think Derek McInnes has touched on this. There's too many of them that turn up for one great game, and then the next games after that are all fives.
Aye.
So I think
on you go, Smith.
I think for me that to get the best out of Asgard, I see Asgard as a number 10. He's going to take the ball into feet, turn players, and I see getting the best out of Asgard as a 4-2-3-1, and him as a number 10. He's no industrious enough half the ball. He's a bit of a luxury player, but if you're dominating ball, you've got a lot of possession, you're trying to unlock defences or whatever, he's not really a winger. I see him as a number 10, and with the right personnel around him, and I think we get the best of him, and that's why I wonder. Derek McInnes is always all his teams. He went with width, and players that hug the touchline and that. I don't know if he'll be able to fit him into his team, if you know what I mean.
Just a wee update. I've just a message from our big Stevie, who's giving us an update in the ladies' game, half time and extra time in the qualifying. I think it's Slavia Prague. Rangers ladies are winning 2-1 at half time and extra time. So a few minutes to go. Hopefully we can hold on. I get it, mate. I mean, but I don't know if you can play him in a 2 in the midfield, mate, because he's not the kind of guy that sniffs onto danger. But I think we could play him at certain times, and a lot of our games at Ibrox and some of our league games we can play different. Whether you find him, if you're going to build your team around about him and he's going to be consistent, because if he is consistent, you've got some playing going on. And that was I with a lot of conversations I've had with my good friend Southside, I never questioned the guy's ability. You can see the technique. See him, he's Barjami. You can see Barjami's got technique. You can see the Asgard. You know, I mean, if you were booting up out there, and you were having a competition at Ibrox, he'd be one of the ones that would bring it down or flick it up and do wonderful things with it. We've seen it, right? But if you're wanting somebody to work hard and up and down the wing, and there's 10 minutes to go, and you're maybe winning a big game 2-1, you're wanting people to chase and Harry. It's no in him. It's no his type of game, and he's about 6'2", and he's a big lump, but that's not his game. So you've got to be realistic about that. I don't think you can put that into him, GB.
No, and that's where we're in that position, Ox, where we've just got to work with the tools we've got. And that's the kind of the thing that where the manager's got to come in and try and get the best out. And like Devlin getting signed as well, that we know the limitations of Devlin, but he'll work hard for us, and it'll be the same with Asgard. We know the quality he's got, and we just need to fit the team round about the quality, Ox. You mean we need to try and make people work. It's the same again with Shankland. We said that as well. We need to get the ball in the box for that boy, because he's, like you says, he's not going to be a guy that can run up and down. He'll try his hardest. He'll run his heart out for the team, but to get the best out of him, we're going to have to feed him. And it's the same with Asgard. We've got to get him into these, like you say, positions where, as Smurf's saying, grabs the ball, number 10 role, and goes into the box and is able to get a shot off. And 9 times out of 10, he will finish. That's one thing I'll give him. Like I says, if he's got a chance, usually 9 times out of 10 he buries it.
He can leather the ball as well. I mean, I don't, for a guy with that much ability, he's so limited, isn't he? He's just, I don't see him really in any other, to get the absolute best out of him. You'd almost need to construct your team around him and play him as a number 10. And then that takes, for me, I've never played Shankland over Terniti. So therefore, what's the point of Shankland? Are you going to play like that? You know what I mean? So
there'll be a lot of games at Ibrox, particularly, mate, where you could have the 3 involved, mate.
Maybe, I don't know. Just to me, the whole squad's just very unbalanced, and it needs to be rationalised. And
I think he's done that. I think Derek McInnes has done that, mate. When I hear when we brought in a couple of centre halves quite rapidly, one of them's got injured, so we were starting to stack up. We're meant to be looking at another one. We'll maybe come out in the next few days, right? But look, if we're trying to sign these wide players, and it's all of the press that we're in for maybe another 2. Now, we're then going to maybe bring in a couple of loans when everything settles down, and that'll bolster the squad. But all of a sudden, if his recruitment team, and they're going for the positions that we're all agreeing were short in, which quite funny is that none of them mentioned the Serbian boy, and also I don't think the 2 have got Devlin in your team, who up until Friday night everybody had the first name of the team sheet was Cammy Devlin. So
everybody bar me. Everybody bar me.
We're a tough crowd, GB.
I know. It shows you, Ox, because that boy, the Serbian boy's been training as well. So again, he's a bit of an enforcer. He looks as though he's got a bit of quality about him. And as we said, Ox, and Smurf said that's where the imbalance comes in. We are like much of a muchness into them. There's a lot of them that can play the same. Raskin, I know that he's got quality and stuff like that, but they're all put into the same positions to do roles that sweep up, get the ball forward. I mean, you've got 10 to a dozen in there that do that. And I'm looking for somebody else like Asgard with a bit of pace. If we could just get that, then we've got a bit of quality going forward in that midfield. You know what I mean? But
if you get Asgard with a bit of pace, mate, You get 40 million for him.
I know. I was going to say he'll only be there for 2 months.
You know.
I know.
Because if you take Asgard and they could run away from players, mate, what a play you're talking on.
Oh, mate.
You know,
that's
and
just after
that boy has got the ability-wise. There's no doubt in that. I've never questioned it, mate. It's just. I mean, you go back to the Fernandes thing. We talked about that earlier on the show, Smurf. Where sometimes it's got to be attitude. And by the way, the boy showed a great attitude this summer. He came back and gave up his holiday and wanted to come back and get involved. And thinking the message I got that he recognised he hadn't done himself justice in the first season at the club and wanted to take the bull by the horns. And if that is the case, and he does manage to do it and get a level of consistency with 8 wonder goals, he's got to get people after seat.
The thing with Fernandes is it's you hear these sound bites and he sounds quite humble and a guy that just wants to be the best he can be, and that's fantastic. And then you see the way he is on the pitch, that sort of lackadaisical way. He's swanning about as if he's Baresi Maldini rolled into one, and he's miles off that. You see ability, but there's he just switches off. He doesn't concentrate, and far better players than him have come to Ibrox and realised and knew they had to concentrate for 90 minutes. Goalkeepers at Ibrox might have 1 shot, 2 shots to save our 90 minutes and made careers of that. And the reason they could do it is because they concentrated. So Manny Fernandes doesn't sort of switch on and stay switched on for 90 minutes, irrespective of his ability. He'll not make it at Rangers. He just won't. But you can see all the attributes he's got, and that's what's frustrating.
Aye. I mean, you hear the pros talking about him. They say he's got he's got this and he's got that. And we're watching and he has shown us he's got talent, he's got pace, he's got power, and then he lets himself down. So if he was 17, I would say aye, but he's no. He's 23. Hasn't played a lot of football, but he's not played millions and millions of games at a professional level. But he's still got to learn. Maybe he's just raw. Hopefully he kicks on. Hopefully he's no man in the match tomorrow night. Hopefully it's Chimiti, Shanklin, Asgard, Jakota, Gassama. Am I not worrying about the goalkeeper, the centre-half, GB?
That's it, mate. I'm hoping the forward players and the attacking players, they get some goals tomorrow night, and it kind of brings back that feel-good factor a wee bit, and it hopefully kick-starts their kind of goal return this season for them. Because I think it will help us going into the weekend. Whereas if it's a bit of a sticky game, then it kind of keeps that momentum going. What if? You mean?
So I'm expecting a walk in the park, mate. I'm expecting quite a difficult time, mate.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're second in the league now, and they've won both their games that have started. So they're no mugs, definitely no. And they'll know that they need to put in a performance to make sure they're still in the tie come the game at Ibrox. You know what I mean? So, but I'm hoping like they like saying Asgard, Chimiti, Shanklin and stuff like that they come alive in these games, or even Raskin to a certain extent, because this is where we've actually seen them perform. You know what I mean? So, and we need them, Hawks, because this is important. We need to get through, and it helps attract players still as well. If you're in these group stages and we're still in the transfer market and all that, Hawks, then it does help you, like I says, attract players to the club.
Last word for your good self, Smith. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No, onwards and upwards, and I will see where we were after the game. But thanks for having me, and it's been a pleasure as always. Good night.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Last word to your GB. Well, the Gremlins grabbed us a night, brave, didn't they?
Aye, that's a wee gizmo's crawling about, mate. I think there's a wee gizmo's kicking about my house, Aye, good chat tonight, mate. It's good the overall views of what's been happening the weekend, transfers, and the game tomorrow. So since we're signing off tonight, mate, I'll give you my score prediction: 2-0 Rangers tomorrow.
Oh, I'll take that, mate. I'll be delighted with that, mate. Delighted. I'm just waiting for our update. With 3 minutes to go, Rangers ladies are down to 10 men. but we're still hanging on. That was a couple of minutes ago, so hopefully they can see it, mate, and progress in Europe as well. Listen, thanks to Smurf, thanks to your good self, GB. I don't know what happened with Ross, but there was a wee bit of a gremlin. Hopefully we'll speak to Ross soon. Thanks to everybody for listening. Rangers Radio will be back. There'll be no pre-match show, but just to remind everybody, it's a 5 o'clock kick-off tomorrow evening. 5 o'clock. We'll be back at 7 with a post-match show, 7 till 9, talking about the game tomorrow night. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. Come on, Rangers. Take it away, old school boy.